and where I wanted to put my effort. So what I do when I learn something, and I learned this from a psychologist, I can't remember his name. He wrote the book Influence and Persuasion.
Yes. Yeah.
Cialdini, I think. So he says that the best way to learn is to batch up your learning. And so for 3 months or 4 months at a time, you pick one topic and you just read only stuff about that topic. So I went after the foot, I went after the knee, I went after the pelvis. And he believed that by doing that, you could be a master at these individual topics. By just focusing 4 months on just this topic, you are going to be more specialized in that topic.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for the whole body. I did that for neurology. I did that for stress physiology.
Jeez.
Right. I did that for strength training. Like I went over, Verkhoshansky, all the Russians. I did triphasic. We did like Mel Sif. I did like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was my strength training phase. Okay, great. Have all that. Okay, now let's go after joint by joint, right? Or structure by structure. Hip, rib cage, neck, cranium, all that stuff. Because I wanted to be able to combine them all together. And I took a bunch of different courses: SFMA, PRI, DNS, FRC, SMA, and a bunch of different courses from people like Eric Cressy, Mike Robertson, and I was just trying to bring it all together. And luckily, I reached out to somebody that I heard on a podcast. His name's Micron Karate. He works in professional basketball. Try finding that guy on social media. You cannot. He's like the smartest guy who's not on social media.
Uh-huh.
And he kind of did this where he was amalgamating all these systems. And I was able to ask him a bunch of questions and talk to him when he was in town with the team that he was working with. At the time it was the Hawks, I think.
Okay.
We would go lift, we would go have dinner, we would talk, because I was going down PRI rabbit holes and all that stuff. And he really helped kind of influence my thought process on how to go about thinking about these things. And so for me, or for you, if you want to really understand where the first principles are, your first principles of thinking, because there's so much information in this industry, you don't know where to start. Write down everything you think is important, or think about how you program. Start by just programming. What are my principles of programming? What do I do on a daily basis? How do I assess? What is my exercise selection process? What is my assessment process? What are my beliefs in terms of communication? Write those down and then see if there's any patterns that emerge. And those are your first principles. When you cannot stop writing, or when you can stop writing, you have found the end. And maybe the end is, I got to learn more about this, because this really isn't the end. I'm just limited in this area. Or maybe it's like, hey, this is what I truly believe. And so I can wipe out everything else on the board, and these are the main things. And I built a whole mentorship on those main things.
Mm-hmm.